Good day, everyone. My name is Archer Joshi Abucay. I am a second year BSIT student, and today I will be presenting and walking you through the very first website that I've created, which is titled My Very First or My First Website. I will be explaining the HTML tags that I've used to construct and create my very first web page. So let's dive into the code. So let's open first our HTML code and then our web page. All right, so we've opened our website and this is our HTML code. So first is the document wrapper or the doc type HTML. What does it do? Doc type HTML is a declaration that tells the browser this document is written in modern HTML5. The HTML tag acts as the root container wrapping all the code. So why do I use or place it here? I place doctype HTML on line 1 and HTML on line 3 because they establish the foundational architecture of the document. If I remove if I remove or change these tags, the browser might enter quirk mode, which misinterprets modern layouts and wouldn't recognize the file as a valid HTML document. Next is the header structure, which is the head and the title. So what are their purpose? The head tag, which is this one, holds metadata that isn't shown directly on the Canvas page, while the title tag, which is this one, sets the name on the browser tab. I place it right at the top at the document layout. Inside, inside, I set the exact text to my first website. Inside, I set the text to my first website so that it shows up clearly at the top of the user's web browser tab. If I remove these tags, the browser tab will just display the file path name, which is this first website.html, instead of a professional clean title. So for example, if I remove this, this would be the result. This is what it would look like. And if I add it back, then this is what it would look like. Okay. Moving on to the main header and the Hello Kitty image. These are the tags that I use to display those image and text. So what does it do and what is its purpose? So the H1 tag creates our primary largest heading level. Meanwhile, the image tag embeds an image or a GIF using a source link. So why did I use and place it here? I put them inside the head section here to show as the main greeting, which is Kamusta ka? Welcome to my page. Right next to my Hello Kitty welcome GIF, which is this one. If I remove H1 or the H1 tag, the text loses its bold emphasis and shrinks to the standard text. And if I remove the image tag, the page loses its welcoming visual charm. So for example, if I remove this one, then this is what it would look like. It would look like. The bold effect loses. The bold effect disappears. But if I put it back, Then it goes back to its original form. Now, if I remove this tag, image tag, then the Hello Kitty GIF disappears or gets removed. And if I put it back, that it comes back. So moving on to the body content and text styling. These are the tags that represents the body content and text styling. So what does this tag do? The body tag encloses all visible layout components, while the paraphrase tag and the bold tag creates block level paragraphs, and the bold tag applies a bold aesthetic weight to the text. So why did I use these tags? On lines 11 and 13, I used these to neatly display my personal information. I wrap the labels name and program and year level in bold tags so they pop out, followed by my actual details. As you can see, if I remove these tags, and if without the body, the layout engine might fail to render things cleanly. While if I remove the paragraph tag, my name and program details would awkwardly merge into a single line of text. So for example, then that's what it would look like. Now if I put it back, then it goes back to its original form. Moving on to the dividers, which is represented by this tag, HR tag. So what does it do? The HR tag stands for the horizontal rule. It injects a straight thematic line across the screen. So why did I use this tag? I inserted HR tags on lines 15, 24, and 32 to act as a clean 16, 25, and 32 to act as clean visual breaks separating my facts, my facts, my favorite link or website, and my picture section. The layout would look cluttered and run together without clean section boundaries if I remove these tags. Now moving on to the section headings, which is represented by these tags. Heading 3 tags. So what does it do? So heading 3 tag establishes a tertiary mid-tier heading hierarchy. So why did I use it? I use them to title my subsections, as you can see. 3 interesting facts about me, my favorite website, and my favorite picture. They give sections distinct prominence without competing with the main heading title. So if I remove these tags, the sections would lose their titles, making it confusing for a user to scan through my interests. So if I remove these, then it would look like this. So let's put it back. Okay. Now moving on to the unordered list, which is represented by these tags and these tags. So what does it do? So unordered list tag defines an unordered bulleted list structure, while the li tag marks individual list items. So why did I use it there? Located on lines 18 and 23, I use this to neatly format my three interesting facts, like being a Scorpio Sun, Taurus rising, and my fear of the ocean, as you can see. If I remove these tags, the sentences would clump into a massive block paragraph instead of a three distinct bullet points. So if I remove this tag, this is what it would look like. It would be too cluttered. So let's put it down. So moving on to the last one, which is the hyperlinks, represented by this tag. So what does it do? So the anchor tag creates a clickable hyperlink. The href, this one, the href attributes dictates the web destination, and the target equals underscore blank forces the link to open safely in a completely new tab. So why did I use it or place it there? I leverage it on line 28 to direct users straight to my favorite game website, Abucay. So as you can see, if I click it here, it will take me to my favorite site. So if I remove this, the text would become, then the text would become unclickable or unavailable. You cannot click it anymore. And if I remove that anchor tag, then the link or hyperlink will not be accessible any longer. So let's wait now. So when I add it back, you can now access this link again. So let's talk about my design decisions and why I laid out my web page this way. So I chose a vertical single page layout and simply separated the sections using clean horizontal lines. Since this is just an introductory profile page, it feels much smoother to read when the flow goes straight from top to bottom. I deliberately chose standard tags like headers, paragraphs, and lists. This ensures because it ensures the page has a proper structure and hierarchy, instead of just having a bunch of text jumbled together without any formatting. If I had more time to improve this, the very first thing I would do is add CSS. Right now, the page is just using default browser fonts and alignments, so it looks pretty basic. With CSS, I could make it look a lot better. I could add a pastel theme, maybe make it dark mode so it looks cool, and make sure the layout stays perfect even when viewed on a phone. To wrap things up, here is my personal reflection on this activity. I realized that HTML is truly the backbone of the entire internet. No matter how big or fancy a website is, it all starts with simple tags, placed and organized properly. In my opinion, the body tag, anchor tag, and image tags are the most important elements. Without the body, you don't have a page. Without links, you can't connect to other websites. And without images, the page looks really dry and boring. The part I struggled with a bit was fixing the sequence of my tags, because sometimes the layout would get messed up at first. But I easily solve it by constantly checking the live server in VS Code. So every time I change the code, I could immediately see if it fixed the issue. Because of this activity, I finally get how websites are built. Now, whenever I browse Netflix or play online games, I can tell myself, this is actually just like what I made. Theirs is just a much bigger version. What I still want to learn is I really want to learn how to create complex HTML forms, the ones where users can type in inputs with working validations and a truly interactive style. That is all. Thank you so much for watching.